Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at a relatively low-level item, so I hope you'll join me. Not every single unique item needs to be an end-game item. This particular item is called the Stoutnail. Stoutnail is the unique spiked club, and the unique spiked club is a relatively simple item. It has a relatively high enhanced damage, and as we go over it, you'll kind of see the weirdness of this item. So it's 10 to 16 damage, which is actually pretty high for level 5, and would certainly be useful as you're running around bonking things as a low-level character. It does have a level requirement of level 5, like I said, which is relatively low, and quite honestly, just not really that terrible. That's a nice little sunbeam coming in right on my eyes right here. Put some paper over that or something. It's like right in my face. It also has a fast attack speed on it, which is not bad for a low-level character. 100% enhanced defense damage, which is actually a lot, and it is static, so it's always 100% enhanced. It does have plus 7 vitality on it, which is a lot for a low-level character, and depending on your character, could translate out to a pretty decent bump in HP. Some characters get much higher health per vitality point than others. We also have magic damage reduced by 2, which actually is going to do a lot at level 5, and attacker takes damage of 10, which again is actually going to do a lot at level 5. Believe it or not, attacker takes damage of 10 will probably kill most monsters that you come across at level 5, and if you paired it up with something like Saigons, Saigons also has attacker takes damage on it, and you could literally just walk around normal difficulty, maybe even turn on thorns just for lulz, and just laugh as everything just goes boop and then dies. It could of course be socketed, but anything that you could put in it around this level would probably increase the level requirement. There's not a lot of really good like level 5 gems and jewels and stuff like that. You can also find this in the ethereal form, and it's 14 to 24 damage, a little bit higher. And honestly, if you found an ethereal one at a low level, I'd probably just equip it and use it until it breaks. It's really not that big of a deal, and the extra bump in damage would be nice while you're leveling up, and hopefully you'll find something better before it cracks. Now, to upgrade this, you're going to specifically need a Ral rune and a Soul rune and a Perfect Emerald. So if you really want to upgrade this, it's actually not a bad upgrade, believe it or not. And it's pretty easy to get a Ral and a Soul rune. The Soul is going to be literally the hardest rune to find as a low-level character. And even then, though, you usually will start to find a lot of them after a time, to the point where you've got a whole bunch of them just stored up. So upgrading this item, it's going to go from 10 to 16 damage, level 5, to 26 to 50 at level 25, which actually isn't awful, and that's because of the 100% enhanced on it. Unfortunately, it really doesn't have a whole lot else going for it, does it? It doesn't have any increased attack speed, doesn't have any plus to skills, doesn't have any like additional elemental damage. Just in general, doesn't really have a lot of things that it should have. But then again, it is a level 5 item, and that's really what it's meant for. We can upgrade this one more time, of course, with the ethereal version to 14 to 24 damage, level 5, to 38 to 74 damage, 20 strength requirement, level 25. As you can see, not really a huge difference in the damage there, as far as like comparatively to maybe other items that you would use around this same level. It could be a cheap upgrade, just something for you to use for a little while until you get into a better item. But honestly, I don't think I would waste the Ral and Soul rune. Now, of course, you can also upgrade this another time. And what does that mean? Well, we can upgrade it to the Elite version. And to upgrade it to the Elite version, you're going to need a Pull rune, a Lame rune, and a Perfect Emerald. And it's going to go from 26 to 50, 30 strength requirement, level 25, to the Tyrant Club, 64 to 116, 133 strength requirement, and level 54. Not exactly a good upgrade, but not exactly a terrible one. Definitely not worth the pull and the lumber that you have to spend to do it. The ethereal version is 38 to 74, 20 strength requirement, level 25, and upgrades to 96 to 174, 123 strength requirement, level 54. Better damage, but still not really worth it, especially considering to make this into an item that you could actually use, you would have to put a Zod rune in it, which is going to increase the level requirement to 81, and is also going to obviously make it a pretty costly item. But there you go, a Zodded Tyrant Club Stoutnail. Now you have seen it all. Now, where specifically would you find yourself a Stoutnail if you were to go in search of one? I'm pretty sure that most of the zones that drop this item are most likely going to be low-level zones. But let's go take a look anyway, just to kind of see on Silo's Pen where you could potentially find this if you were looking. So here we are over on Silo's Pen, and let's assume that we are a low-level character with a meager 0% magic find, and we are looking at bosses. According to our list here, Andariel in normal is our highest percent chance to get this at a 1 in 302. And it looks like normal Mephisto on a quest kill is a decent chance too. But for non-quests, it does look like Bloodraven has a pretty decent chance at 1 in 1,245. And Mephisto in normal, 1 in 1,299. Now, normally by the time you get to Mephisto, it's not really useful anymore. Bloodraven might be your best bet here, because Bloodraven is a really early monster and is someone that you might actually want to farm a little bit to get yourself a couple pieces of equipment. As far as super uniques go, and normal Cow King, nobody's farming normal Cow King for Stoutnail, not unless you're just looking for it for like your holy grail. It does look like Rockanishu has a decent chance. Rockanishu and Treehead both have a decent chance. So pretty good options there. Bone Ash is not too far behind. So yeah, it looks like to me Bone Ash, Treehead Woodfist, Rockanishu, and not the Countess, Bloodraven. Those are your best bets. And if you really wanted to, you could try and farm Andariel a little bit, maybe get it. But usually by the time you go into Act 2, it's not really going to be that great. It does have a 50% bonus damage to undead, which I may have forgotten to state, which is, of course, going to be a nice little bonus for Act 2 because there's tons of undead monsters in there. Definitely would be helpful to have that bonus damage. And it acts as off-weapon ED, so it's not going to be super great. Honestly, I just can't see myself using this much further past Act 2 normal difficulty. And quite honestly, that's really all it's good for. The attacker takes damage of 10 is going to wane off as well toward the end of normal difficulty, and it's going to be far less useful. In the beginning, though, as you're walking around normal difficulty, you're going to feel like a god as monsters literally walk up to you and just kill themselves on you, which is going to be absolutely hilarious for you. Just to give you kind of an idea of how that would work, let me show you my little attacker takes damage of character. This is actually an attacker takes damage of character. He has a lot of attacker takes damage of, but basically how it works is it doesn't really matter. Like any monster that walks up to me and attacks me is gonna instantly kill themselves on me, like just instantaneously because of the attacker takes damage of. And these monsters have relatively low health in the first place. So using something like Stoutnail in combination with some other attacker takes damage of items, most of these monsters only have like 5, maybe even 6 HP, like to begin with. So as soon as they touch you with attacker takes damage of 10 on, they're just going to instantaneously die. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and keep watching.